Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Craps. It's been a while. We're at 29th of December here, or September rather, 2021. Been filming that dice control series. So for those of you that are watching live, obviously we're in the moment here. For those of you that are watching this months later, this has already happened. But I want to, before I start getting to the table today and talk about what I want to talk about, just a couple of quick shout outs here. I know that we're still in the middle of the pandemic. Obviously, we're coming hopefully out of it maybe, but we know that our friend Jacob at Wage Me This is fighting COVID right now. He's posted that on his YouTube channel. So thoughts and prayers out to Jacob. Best wishes on a good recovery. And we've had a lot of folks in our community, the Craps community, I know have, excuse me, posted silently or in some public forums. They've had some family members that have had it, have passed through COVID. It's just a rough time. I mean, regardless of where you stand on things politically or whatever else it is, it's just a rough time. And people are really sick and we're losing folks. And we've got other folks, good friends of mine, again, in our community that I know are dealing with some family issues. So again, my heart's a little bit heavy because I know we've got some folks that are just dealing with some stuff that it just sucks right now. So just, put your hands together. Just good wishes, thoughts, prayers, however you deal with things like that. Just throw it out there to the community. There's some folks out there that are hurting right now. So just join me in being with them, I guess. But that said, I want to jump into looking at the 7. And I see we got a couple of people already joined in. Gary and Skill and Luck. How you doing, folks? Today I want to attack the 7 a little bit. Hey, Square Pair, how you doing, man? Is he doing all right? That sucks, man. By the way, I'm rocking your shirt today. I hope he gets better. I mean, I know that this really kind of sucks right now, and I've been lucky. My company allowed us to go right home and work from home. So I've been in my basement. That's why I started the channel. Been in my basement for a year and a half now, and we've been very lucky, both of us, my wife and I, and my daughter. I think we're just blessed in the way that we are able to live here and kind of avoid things. So regardless, I hope everybody is staying safe and doing the right things. Let's talk about the 7 today. So I did a video the other day, the second video in our dice control series about how powerful the 7 is. And what I want to do here is flip it, right? And you know me, I mean, my general sense of craps is to be a don't player. Like when I'm not throwing, I'm that guy, right? Who thinks he's a great shooter. So when I'm shooting, I bet more right side on myself. I bet more don't on the rest of the table because I know, and you know, that 100% of the shooters will 7 out. That's just the way that my glare. Sorry, that's the way this game works. Everybody 7s out. But how do you attack the 7 in a safe way? There's a trend right now on the YouTube channels, and it's kind of fun how this works, right? You see these channels all go in sort of this ebb and flow. Right now, you got Joe over at Craps Master Journey. You've got I forget the guy's name, but the guy at the Sideshow Gamble, another channel you all should be watching, Sideshow Gamble. The guy's great. And obviously Vince Armenti always does this, but they've got this, this strategy versus that strategy. They're doing kind of tournaments, like pitting strategies against one another. I'm not going to get into that fray because it's not my thing. But today I do want to look at a couple of different ways to play through the 7, because I think the 7's a really interesting number. The way that it comes is interesting, but the way that it can hammer your bankroll is interesting, even if you're betting on it. So what I want to do is I want to talk to you about a couple of options. One, we're going to look at a come out option, and we've done this before, but the laying of the back wall as a come out option. And I want to look at that versus hopping the 7, because we had a discussion with a friend of mine in the Color Up Discord channel, and we were kind of going back and forth, like, what's the better way to do it? Is laying the back wall the better way to attack the come out roll versus hopping? And there's a slight difference there, I think. And then I think the side talk I want to have with that is, once you're in the roll, what's the best way to play the 7? And there's a lot of ways to do this, right? And if you've listened to me talk before, I don't love lay bets. I don't like laying so much money to win less money than I put out there. I don't love playing the underdog or playing the favorite in sports either, because of the same thing. You got to lay too much. But the 7 is the big bad wolf, right? The 7 is a thing that you could probably make money on even if you lay it. However, I think there's better bets out there and there's better ways to spread our money. So what I want to do here is I want to flip over the table really quick and just lay a couple of options out and just talk through it. And I may get to rolling a little bit here. So let me switch to the table view and let's chat through that. Let's go. Go table. All right, there we go. All right, so looking at our table here, let's first address the come out roll. And oh, hi, Lucas, I just saw you come in. And Mudslide Matt, good to see you here too. Let's address the come out roll. And there's the two things that people do, or that we've suggested, I guess, in terms of playing for the 7 on the come out. There's really 3 ways you can do this, right? One is going to be, and I'm going to run multiple bankrolls here, but one would be the pass line itself, right? Just betting on the pass line obviously is a 7 winner on the come out. The problem with the pass line bet is that even though you win on the come out 7, you're stuck with a bet perhaps on, let me get my puck here, a pass line bet on the 4, which sucks, right? We don't want to have this bet riding on that number being hit twice. There's a reason to avoid the pass line. They say it's the best bet. I avoid it because I don't want to be stuck there if I don't have to be. The don't pass on the come out roll is a danger zone, right? You're going to lose this bet. So we're going to talk about that don't pass bet here in a minute. I'm going to leave it up as a reminder to talk about it, but let's talk about the 2 kind of strategies that are sort of the hot topic right now, which is laying the back wall. I'm going to lay the back wall real quick here just so you can see what it looks like. And it means putting 30 bucks on every number. Did I miss a quarter? I think I did. 1 quarter light, there it is. So if we lay the back wall for 30 bucks each, and you target that only on the come out rolls, and here's the idea behind it. If a 7 rolls, these bets combined win 120 bucks minus a $6 vig, so you're at 114 the way that this plays out. And here's the way that it pays. The 4 and the 10 will each pay you 15 bucks. The 5 and the 9 will each pay 20 bucks. And the 6 and the 8 will each pay a quarter. Right? Times 2 is 120. And again, you're paying the vig on each win. The nice thing about this is that it wins you a guaranteed 114, which is cool. And your risk is 30 bucks because at worst, what's going to happen is a number gets rolled, like the 6, and you lose that 30, and then you can turn it all off. You can bring them down, or you can turn those bets off, and they're just inactive. So you're really risking 30 bucks to win 114 on the most powerful number in the game. That's a hell of an advantage you've got there, right? Putting 30 out to win 120 on the 7. Think about that. When can you bet 30 bucks on, I don't know, the Tampa Bay Bucks versus Appalachian State, which is what we're doing here? That's the equivalent of this bet. Betting 30 to win 120 is a pretty good deal. So I like this option a whole lot for the come out roll. I think that actually works really well if you can get the 7. Now, the option to that was being discussed was, what if you hopped instead? What if, because this is kind of a pain in the ass. If you think about what's going on here, you're giving your dealer and you're pulling out of your bankroll 180, right? That's a big spread here, right? That's, 50, 150, and 30 in red. It's 180 to get out here. So you're going to have to bring some bankroll to do it. But again, only one of these bets is ever going to be at risk. So you're putting out 180 but risking 30 in reality. Why not hop the 7 for 30? And here's what that looks like. I want to talk to you about the difference here. If you hopped the reds, and I'm going to put it here because I don't have hop bets on my table, but if we hopped the reds, hop the 7 for 30 bucks, each of these $10 would win 150. You're going to lose the other 2. Let's say the 6-1 comes out. You're going to lose 20. You're going to win 150. So your net is 130, which is better than 114 for the same $30 investment. So that's an option. However, there's no safe bet there because these, if you're going to lay the back wall, your advantage here is that these bets only get triggered if the 7 rolls, you win. If the box numbers roll, you lose one of them. If the horn numbers roll, you're safe. It's, who cares? These hop bets are hops. And if you know how hop bets work, hop bets are 1-roll bets. So you're going to lose all 3 of those, all 30 bucks if a horn number shows up. So you got to protect that. And the only way to do that is to throw more money out there. Now you're going to have to put on the horn, I'm going to walk around here. On the horn, you got to put $6 out here, right? You're going to have to put $1 on the 12, $1 on the aces, and 2 each on the ace deuce and the yo. to make this work. You got to put $6 out there. Each of those would win 30. However, they would also, like, let's say the 12 comes, you're going to win 30, you're going to lose 5. So you have a net 25, and you also lost up here. So this is that whole argument about hedging. Hedging becomes a game where you're chasing your tail and you never win the race. Remember that. When you're trying to hedge stuff out, you never win. So here, on a come out 7, you're good. You're going to win 130 and lose 6, so you're ahead, versus the person who's betting the back wall like this. If a horn number comes out, though, you're going to lose 35 and win 30 in total. So you're actually down $5 when the horn numbers come. So this way, a little bit more volatile on the horn numbers. And if we get a point established, you're also going to lose 35 or $36 versus 30. So it's more money to make up. So although this is an easier bet to make, you can just drop out $30 and splash it and say, hey, hop the reds and give me a $6 horn. That's easier on you, easier on the dealers, yet it's $6 more risky to do it when a point gets established, and it's potentially $5 more risky on the horn numbers. So you got to remember that this is kind of a bleed. If you do this here, you're bleeding yourself slowly, and there's no math that works for this. You can't go to 31 on the hops and make it any better. The more you chase with hedging, the worse it gets for you. And that's the way the hedging always works. So keep that in mind. This is a viable option if you don't care about the $5, right? You basically got, I would say $6. You have $6 at risk every time you do that when a number comes out. So just remember, hopping is an option. I think laying the back wall is $5 or $6 safer on every come out roll. And that's why I recommend doing the back wall lay versus the hop. The hop is easier. And I would actually, if I'm laying the back wall, what I might actually do preemptively is do it 2 ways and drop $6 out there and let the dealers play with you. Because if you're going to lay the back wall like we're doing here, it's a pain, right? They're going to be bringing your bets up and down, up and down, up and down, or turning them off and on as we go here. It's kind of a, it's kind of a stroke for the dealers, and they don't like that. They don't like they don't mind working hard, obviously, but when you're going to be bringing bets up and down, up and down, up and down, over and over again, you're going to drive them insane. Okay. However, to me, if I have a chance to rack a black, I'm taking that chance every time, right? So to me, risking 30 to rack a black, that's all good. And in fact, you could even press these things up after the come out, because some come out 7s will come in groups sometimes. So anyway, my vote here is lay the back wall versus trying to hop, because I don't want to chase that $5 around if I don't have to. If you don't care about the horn numbers, now there's another option too. You may just not care about the horn, in which case put out the $30 on the hop 7. If you lose it on the horn bet, fine, but you're going to win 150 versus 114. That's an okay play if you're okay with losing $30 on the horn numbers. And I think that's something to consider. And that's, again, that to me is your risk tolerance if you've got that. And Mudslide Mac is saying, yeah, this is great if you have the skill to shoot the 7. Because somebody asked me that in the Dice Control series. One of the comments I got was, is it easier to target a number? Like, it's easier to avoid the 7 or shoot the 7. And I would say to you this: it's not easy to do anything. But I can tell you, my Dice Control history is this. I'm going to set in front of you here. Here's the hard way set, and I'll turn it one rotation, which gives me a 3V on the bottom. So the 3V set for me, when I was first learning Dice Control, I still suck at this, by the way. I have a big problem with splitting my dice. If you can see that, I always do this. For some reason, my dice split, and when I throw them, one of them flies beautifully, and one of them flies like shit. And I found when I first started trying to learn to 3V, I threw 7s like all the time. Like, I was like way worse than I ever was just throwing out random numbers. And so for me, if I'm doing this and I'm shooting, I might throw the 3V with a par style toss and purposefully split my dice and throw it like crap. Like, I may just throw it ugly just on purpose, because I know that when I was doing that before, I was always rolling a bunch of 7s. So that might be a thing. I don't know if I can target the 7. I'm not good enough to do that yet. Yeah, the world bet could work. And again, it just comes down to you're going to lose money. If you have $30 here and a world bet going in here, when the number gets hit, you're going to lose both bets, right? You're going to lose 30 plus 5 or 30 plus 10 or whatever you're doing in the world. It just compounds the loss versus laying the back wall, to me, is a guaranteed $30. You know it's $30. You can calculate that in. And when the point gets established, you know, you can roll out here with a $30 six, take one hit and recover your loss. If assuming a six comes, right? $30 is easy to recover. It's a nice round number, and you know you can kind of bet for it. So that's my thoughts on the come out hedge versus come out hedge, or come out laying the back wall versus the hops. I think the hops are just it's going to bleed you $5 every time you try it. That's me. Let's transition though and talk about in game, because this is where I think it gets interesting. And I think let's get these all off of here. So in the game, when you're live shooting and the number's established, let's assume, for the sake of this discussion, that you've beat the come out roll. Okay, that's a tall order, but if you're laying the back wall and you've won a 7 or something like that, you might, you know, let's just assume you've gotten past it, and you've got a don't pass bet on whatever number. I don't care what the number is. Let's put it on the 6, which is the worst number for us anyway. You have a don't pass on the 6, which is a good bet. You're still the favorite, right? You're not the Buccaneers versus Appalachian State. You're the Buccaneers versus the Seahawks, right? So you're still a favorite, especially the way the Seahawks have been playing. You're still a favorite, but you're not like the heavy favorite. This is still a good bet. Now, what some people do, let me get the hundo off of here. What some people do, and by some people, I mean Greg, my buddy at 555 Craps, his standard strategy is this, right? A don't pass with some odds. And other folks, I think Ken does this, where he does graduated odds. So if the point is 6, he may take no odds. If the point is a 5, he may take single. If the point is 4 or 10, he may go with double odds. He may put 50 or $60 out there, okay? Which is fine. The problem with that, to me, is that the 7, we know, is the God number here. So you're a favorite to win. However, let's put this on the 6. You're set to lose on one number. And I'm not a fan of losing all my money on a single number. So here the 6 takes all my money. And in fact, the lay bet, even though we're on the 4, $60 lay, only pays me 30, right? So I've got, what do I got here? 60 plus 25, I got $85 at risk to win 55. So you're, again, laying more to win less feels wrong, and one number can beat you. Even though it's the 4 in this case, one number still whacks you. I would rather spread that out a little bit. I would rather do something like the don't come. And here's my thinking on this. The best payout in the house is right there. You've probably seen, I'm sure you have, the come bet versus place bet debate, right? Everybody has seen that. The come bet versus place bet debate, come bets are with odds are quote unquote the best bet in the house, right? The odds bet are they're the best payout in the house. There's no house edge. That's actually wrong. The best payout in the house, the best payout odds in the house are right here. That's the only game, the only time in any game in the casino, once you beat the come out roll, which is where the edge comes in. Once you beat the come out roll, there's no bet anywhere in the casino where the favorite wins even money. And if you're here, you're a 2-to-1 favorite getting paid even money. That's fantastic. Matter of fact, it doesn't matter what the point is, you're the favorite and you're getting paid even money on that don't pass bet. That's the best payout going. And I want more of that. So what I would like to see us do, and what I do specifically, is I'll go through the don't come, if I'm playing straight dark here, a couple of times. And the reason why I do that is because of this. Once I've got this set, this bet here doesn't cost me a whole lot. Okay, the only thing I got to worry about there is the yo. And if I throw a buck on the, that's not a very good roll there. If I throw a buck on the yo, that bet's covered, right? Or maybe 2 to really hedge it out. But I can cover this action here pretty easily once I've gotten past here. That's a risk-free bet. And when it gets set, let's roll a number here. Let's see what I get it set to. Of course, I roll a yo. All right, it goes to the 6. So let's say that goes to the 6. Now what happens is this. I've got two flat bets that are both favorites to win. No lay, right? These are the two best payouts in the casino right here. And I don't have one number that beats me now, right? If I was laying here on that 4, if I was laying 60 on the 4, one number takes my entire bankroll. Here, I've got the same amount of money. I actually have less money at risk. I've got, instead of having 25 plus 60, I've got a total of 50 bucks at risk to win the same thing. Look at this, right? When it's the 4 is the point, $25 don't pass and a $60 lay wins me, as we saw, 25 here and 30 here, wins 55 bucks. If I'm here with a flat don't pass and one don't come, what does that pay? It pays 50 bucks. And I don't have one number that beats me. I have two numbers that have to beat me. So in this roll, my money, my spread, my exposure is spread across two numbers versus one, which to me is always better. And if I throw a third don't come in there, right? And let's roll another number and see what happens. And again, if I have a roll 7 here, it's all good. That goes to the 5. And now I've got 3. Again, I'm a favorite, and I'm a favorite. I have 3 flat bets that are going to win me, should we get a 7, 75 bucks. Okay? And even if I had whatever, let's put 80 bucks out here, which is the same spread. Okay? 75 with 3 flats versus 25 with, sorry for my sloppiness there, 25 with an $80 lay, that still pays 25 and 40, which is less than 75. So again, the same exposure money-wise with 3 flat bets, but my win percentage goes way up. I like that a hell of a lot better than having all my money on one number here. So I would advocate for, if you can beat the come out roll, not laying odds here, but going through the don't pass or the don't come. And even if you get burned on the first one, say our point's 4, we go to the don't come and we roll a 7, okay, that pays that, and you're even. You didn't win on the don't pass, but you're setting yourself up to have numbers that are going to be set for you. I think that's a stronger play because I want that spread across multiple numbers. On the 7, I think the 7 is so strong. If I can get flat bet payouts on it, that's what I'm shooting for. And that's why I'm a huge don't come advocate versus odds. If I'm going to lay, let's say I've got budgeted, like I do here, I've got budgeted 100 bucks per shooter, right? I'm going to go 25 here, 2 don't comes, and my fourth quarter would be used to either play the yo or perhaps, I don't know, do something else. Maybe a quick soldier, or maybe I put the other quarter on the 5 or something to try and earn back the 30 I lost on the come out from the laying the back wall. So to me, 100 bucks per shooter plays pretty well. It's a don't pass, it's 2 don't comes, it's a quarter for something else. Perhaps I break this down and go $2 on the yo to get the first one out or something like that. So that's my thoughts on targeting the 7 versus just playing a flat don't. I know that I've talked to Greg about this before, and he's not a huge fan of the don't come. And we haven't really talked in depth as to why. And I know there are some folks here on the broadcast that I can see in chat that I know play some dark side stuff, and I'd love to get your feedback as to why you don't do the don't come. Now, Skill is saying play the don't come for half the don't pass is better, and I'm guessing you're saying that because you're gonna win, right? You have 25 here. If you do like 15 bucks in the don't and the 7 comes, you're gonna still profit 7. That's fine, right? That goes to behind the 5. You're still in good shape. On the next don't come, if you do 15 again, when the 7 comes here, you're going to win 40, lose 15, so your net is going to be the quarter. That's good, right? That guarantees you a win on all the rolls except for the 11, obviously. So I get what you're saying there. I'm trying to kind of target this thing, Skill, by the way, for a $25 table. I've kind of taken this personal attack or personal tact, I guess, on making everything I do, at least on these videos and in my practice sessions, I'm always working $25 level now. You just don't see enough the low level tables out there. I have a $5 table here in town, but most tables are going to 15 and 25, and I'm just trying to get used to the idea of playing at the quarter level all the time. So everything I do now, I have a $1,000 bankroll and I'm playing at the quarter level, just getting used to it. I think we all have to face that reality, right? The reality is on the strip in Vegas, it's 25 bucks. Most places in your locals are going to be 10 and 15. And here's the secret. I'm old, right? I'm 53 and I'm not loving math so much. I don't add well. I want to be a dealer in the worst way, but I fear that I can't add fast enough. So when things are at the $25 level, I can do the math really easily. And you'll notice, like for a little side shot here, when I press, right? If I'm playing right side, I don't know why I'm going here, but if I do right side stuff and I'm at 30 bucks here, I never press that to 42 or 49, right? I'll press it to an even number so I can do the math easier. I'll take that to 60 bucks on a win, right? If we get a $30 win, $35 win, I'll go to 60 with it because I can do the math. 60 pays 70 versus 49 pays 56, and I'm dealing with white chips and it makes my head hurt. So I tend to work with even numbers where I can. So I'm doing most things now at this quarter level. So why don't we take, what time is it here? We got a few minutes here. Why don't we do, yeah, I can do, you're right, Skill. $50 don't pass, $25 don't come. That $50 don't pass becomes a risky bet, right? The higher you go here, right, you're facing the 7. And I guess part of the thing here is this to think about. The laying the back wall with a don't pass is interesting because let's look at how that looks. Let's lay it out here. Let's put the back wall layup. Where's my nickels? And we'll do a quarter on the don't pass. Okay, so that's 180 up here plus a quarter down there. So that's 205 out the door. Should a number come, we lose 30. Should the 7 come, we win 114 and lose the quarter. So we're not really racking black anymore. You're racking a little bit less than black. It's fine, but it's to be considered. Let's actually roll it out. Let's roll this right now, which is, again, we'll look at how this actually plays. What am I at risk to right now? The 11. The only number that beats me here is the 11 on this one. You might take $2 and drop $2 on the yo here, just to get that protection on the 11. It's the only thing that you're at risk for is $2. Should a horn number come? Let's roll it out and get a number here. So there's, oh, how about that? 437 out of the gate. Cool. 437. We're going to lose this. We're going to lose this. We're at 27 down, but you're going to win 100, 10. I'm going to pay it out as paid, 114. It's really 120, but each of these carries $1 VIG. So they're going to take the VIG, my casinos take the VIG on payouts, not ahead of time, which is fantastic. By the way, that's going to be a subject, maybe the first subject in my upcoming podcast, which is going to be finding the right tables to play. And that's one of the things I look for is, does the casino take the VIG on the payout or not? So you're going to win 114, which is great. You're not quite racking a black, right? I would love to say that paid me a black and $14 because there's my 14, there's the 100, there's the black, right? You can rack the black. However, you lost a quarter here. So it's not technically a $100 profit. It's whatever that is. It's a $9 or $11. $11 less than 100. So it's a little bit less, but it's cool. Go back out again. It was nice to throw a 7 there to show the strategy kind of at work here. There's, oh my God, look at that, another 7. We're just going to be doing this, 114. Again, racking another black. Let's drop the whites and the reds in. Reds, whites, lose our quarter again. Drop another quarter out there, but here's what I got in 2 rolls on the come out 7. There's 220 into the rack. Who's going home right now? Right, I might be going home right now. That's actually what you want to see there on the come out rolls. There's a 5. So we're going to lose this. We're going to have a point of 5. This bet is going to be hot and active. Now, we lost 30 here. We've got a quarter here. If we 7 out, this covers the loss, and that's kind of what you're playing for. That covers the loss. Now, what I'll do is take from my rack, and we'll go the don't come one time, and I will put $2 out there on the yo to cover that in. These will be turned off. I'm going to put the off button on there just because I don't want to deal with taking them up and down here during the show. But normally you got to pull those things down. Let's roll out, see what happens. Put the coffee down. 617. So here's that case where you get the PSO, you don't get hurt. Now, if I had taken Dylan Skill and Luck's advice and done a $15 don't come instead of a $25 don't come, right? I would have lost the 15 and got paid a quarter for a net of 10. What ends up happening the way that I played it, I lose my quarter, but we get paid a quarter, and we end up kissing our sister here. So in this case, my net for that particular roll is we're down 30 bucks. Now, although we did win, of course, earlier, we're down, I took it out of my rack. We're down 30. Let's go ahead and replace that. Again, even though we won 2 come out 7s, I'm looking at that as an independent event there. So let's roll out and get another point established here. That's going to be a 9. So we'll lose our 9, put the point on the 9. And again, I'm going to go ahead and play at the quarter level. I'm not, actually, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do as suggested. We'll play 15 here on the don't. And these, I'm going to move them up out of the way. So when this don't come, hopefully get set, it'll go. I'll put it in front so you'll know what's going on. There's an 8. Okay, so here is a good scenario. 15 on the no 8. That's actually, I should probably move these out of the way. $15, no 8. And I've got $25, no 9. I'm going to do one more. Let's get quarters here or nickels here. There's 3. One more don't pass. And here's our spread, right? If the 7 comes right now, we're going to win 25 and 15. We'll lose 15, so these become a wash. We net a quarter here. If I can get it set, we'll be in great shape. And this is perfect because it goes to the 4. Now I've got a no 4, a no 8, and a no 9, right? My 7 is heavy, right? We've got, what is that, 30, we got 45 bucks or 55 bucks out there on the 7, all at even money. Again, best payout in the casino is right there in front of you. 3 favorites, 3 bets on the favorite to pay even money. You're not going to see that anywhere else in any bet you can make at the casino. That's the best payouts. And we're set up perfectly. If it rolls an 8, so what? I can't lose all this money in one roll. Whereas if I'm betting on the 8, if I have whatever, if I have a 120 on the 8 and I have 120 on the 6, guess what? If the 7 comes, I lose it all, right? That's the bane of the right side bettor is that one roll, you can lose your entire bankroll. Here, the way I've got this set up, you can't. You can lose part of it. You're at risk separately on 3 numbers, but you can't lose it all in one roll, which is what I love about the don't come. I don't love not being able to choose my numbers, but if I chose my numbers with a direct lay, now I have to lay to win less, and I don't love that. I love the even money bets on the 7 when I can get them, and there she comes. There's the 7, the 5-2, and we win everywhere, right? We're going to get paid a quarter there, 15 here, and 15 here. So the 7 today, thumbs up, everybody, has reared its ugly head, and we got 2 come-out winners back to back. And if you think about what we lost in those last 2 rolls, we've gained it all back right there, right? Those lay bets up top, or the don't come bets up there, have won us back the money that we lost, plus a little bit of profit over here. So now we're at, a little over 200 bucks, 250 in profit on a couple of shooters. We can go home. So that's my story on the 7. I think the takeaway here is this. I'll leave it at that. I think, to recap, the come out 7, I prefer laying the, I'll go back to my picture of me. I'll go back to playing the back wall. I think that laying the back wall is the way to do it versus hopping. I think the hopping bleeds you with those, if you hop and hedge with either the world bet or the horn bet, it's going to bleed you that $5 or $6 over the course of time, which I don't like to bleed money if I can help it. So I prefer laying the back wall for that. Although it is a pain for the dealers. It's definitely stroking the dealers. You got to bring them in on the action on that so they don't mind so much, which is okay. And frankly, if you lay the back wall and put the dealers up for $6 and they win $6, they're going to be your buds, right? That's all good. I think once you're into the roll, I would not lay odds I've stopped. I don't lay odds on the point anymore. I come to the DC and skill, luck, dial in. I love your suggestion about going down a little bit below what the don't pass is, because that does guarantee you a profit on that first 7. That's a great move that I think makes really good sense. And to me, having at least 2 don't comes set along with your don't pass, 3 numbers where you spread out your action, you can't get whacked, right? You can't lose it all in one roll. And I think that's good. And I think you're going to see the 7 come within 3 or 4 rolls most time anyway. That's what I dig. So that's the way I'm going to play that. I think I'm going to maybe do another video where I roll that out for a longer period. It's already, we've been here for 30 minutes, so I want to respect your time and get you back to your days. But that's, I think, where I'm going to take my next rollout will be that, to kind of just see how that works over the course of more than just one shooter. Today we had a magical 555 craps style 7 appearance. Greg rolls more 7s than anybody. I think I might have beat his record there. And it works out good. So looking at some of the chats here, let's see. Skill says you're still losing $30 either way of hopping versus laying. You do lose 30 either way. However, Skill, what I was saying, I think before you came, was if you're going to do the $30 hopping, you have to also bet the horn, because the lay in the back wall is agnostic to the horn. Doesn't take your money. Hops do. So you got to cover your horn bets, which is going to cost you $5 or $6 each time, depending on what your spread is. And yeah, so old number 7 here, similar to adding the do not come lowers the win percentage versus just a max lay. Interesting. I'm going to run that through WinCraps and to see. I can tell you this: when I run in WinCraps and I run just don't pass with odds or pass with odds or come with odds, you get hammered. Like your money goes right to 0. It happens so fast. The odds, I think, really hurt you in this game. I think everybody says take odds, lay odds, take odds, lay odds. In my experience, the odds drain your bankroll so fast. So I'm going to run some simulations, and maybe I'll start again here in our next episode and show those simulations against this strategy and do some side-by-side so you can see them. It'll be very interesting for sure. Coming up on future episodes here, just so you know, I've got 2 planned. Like next week, I'll do 2 more Coffee and Crafts. Oh, my coffee, actually. 2 more episodes planned where I'm going to show you all the way that I practice. Because this comes up quite a bit. Like people say, what are you doing in your practice table? Like besides filming yourself for the whole world to see. I have a really specific way that I practice when I'm not on camera. And I want to basically turn the camera on and show you what I do when I practice. How do I practice my betting? And you'll find that I'm kind of a nutcase when I practice betting. And I don't do it here when I'm filming, but I do it when I'm alone. I call my bets out. I yell out the hard ways. I yell out the 2-way bets. I make sure that I've got everything kind of like when I go to the casino, I'm like a robot. Like so I want to make sure all that shit is kind of just happening as a matter of course, like a machine, so that I can have fun. Because I can kibitz and have a good time with the dealers and do my thing and with the other players. And I'm just on lock with my strategy and the way that I bet when I'm pressing. I don't even think about pressing anymore. So because of the way that I practice it. So we're going to do that over the next couple of Coffee and Crap shows, just show you kind of the way that I practice. And hopefully that'll kind of bleed into you a little bit as well. So anyway, that's it for today. Thanks so much for coming, everybody. Great turnout. A lot of good stuff in the chat. It was really cool. And again, I'll reiterate what I started with here, which was, again, we're in September 2021. We're still, pandemic's been here, down here. Now it's kind of here again. Pray for our friends. If you've got loved ones that are suffering or have had it or whatever, or at risk, prayers to you all. Just keep everybody in your thoughts. It's a rough time. When we come out of this thing, you're going to have a great story to tell, right? This is we've lived in probably the craziest set of years here. The last 6 years have been the most insane 6 years that I've been a part of. We'll have good stories to tell when it's all over with. But right now, folks are going through it. So the folks that are going through it, you've got my prayers. Square Pair, Jacob and Rob, give Jacob a shout from me. Let him know that I'm thinking about him. And everybody else who's out there that's got family or whatever or friends dealing with something, good thoughts to all of you and prayers out to everybody. Mudslide Mac, I'll close with your comment here. And I think I can add this to the show. Can I do this? No, you can't see it. You're saying the only benefit to odds is no house edge on the bet. You're still at risk, totally. And I did a short video on that where like, or a come bet with odds. The only advantage there is that you get paid true on the odds. You're still against the 7, right? I mean, putting max odds on the 4, it's still odds on the damn 4, right? You still got to get a 4 to win it. It's a bad bet to me. So anyway, that's it. Let's close it there. Great comments, everybody. God bless everybody, and thanks for showing up. And I will see you in a few days. Thanks again, everybody, for coming. I'll see you soon. John out. Duracell, I just saw your comment that you're recovering from it as well. Been 3 weeks. It's rough. I think the new variant is rough on people. It's taking a lot longer to get over it. And I've got a friend who lost her taste when she first got it and hasn't gotten it back. And a matter of fact, it's been 6-7 months. And she says everything tastes like ass. Like still, everything tastes terrible for her. So she hasn't recovered fully yet. So it's a rough deal. Yeah, hope everybody gets better. Thanks again. I will see you next week.